Hi there, this is Christine Richards with Z Prime and ETS, and we are excited to be doing an ETS interview here with Roland from Aveva. Thanks for joining us, Roland.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about Aveva and your role there.
So Aveva is one of the larger technology partners for the utility space. We deliver software programs, digital transformation to the market, and my particular role is I'm heading up the utilities business for North America. So I'm responsible for our North American utilities business, whether it is on the generation side, nuclear side, as well as transmission and distribution, as well as renewables.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you cover a lot of different areas within the industry, and certainly there's a lot of change taking place. I mean, where are you seeing some of the biggest areas for utilities, that they're working on tackling across all those different areas that you cover?
I think the industry as a whole goes through a pretty interesting process right now. So you have all these pockets of mega investments, in particular everything around transmission, distribution, smart grid, etc. We have a certain resistance towards coal. Maybe looking a little different right now in the current administration, or the tone that the administration sort of uses. But generally, I think we're trying to be more or leaner on carbon dioxide emissions. So it's a very interesting time. Renewables are really growing fast. We see similar trends here in the US as we have seen in other areas of the world, particularly Europe. So very interesting aspect overall. But for us as a technology player in that space, even more important is that Industry 4.0 topic, digitization as a whole, which is something we've been doing for a very, very long time. It seems to be like the industry is now really right for us as a technology partner to really step into these activities, full throttle on speeding up the digitalization efforts, and that's really what we're excited about.
Yeah, I think we've heard a lot of conversations for a long time about the concepts of decentralization, digitalization, and decarbonization, and it feels like we've just been waiting for a long time for those things to start to happen, and now we're finally in that position. So, I mean, what should utilities do really a lot of these technologies are here and available for them to leverage to realize what's next.
Yeah, so I think you talked about the 3Ds that keep the CEOs up on their toes a little bit, right? And everybody's looking sort of for the silver bullet, or that perfect mixture that makes me and my company, not from a Aveva perspective, but from a utilities perspective, successful. I think Industry 4.0, and I'm sure there will be a 5.0 coming. I have heard the first people talking about it today. It's a great thing. We need to really have an eye on it, and as a lot of these trends, there's a certain sexiness that goes with the 4.0 number. I think what we as a technology partner have to do is we have to help our utilities partners to determine the long-term strategy, because surely virtual reality, augmented reality, all the how do I handle big data is part of the Industry 4.0 idea, and some of that is actually bleeding edge. So a lot of the aspects may not be as relevant for this year's. I meet my KPIs, and maybe even not next year's meet my KPIs. So my suggestion is for the utilities space to work with partners like us to determine how much focus and how much strategy do I put into 4.0 activities versus closing out what I have left on my 3.0, 3.50 activities. And I think that balance is really what's key. We have a great journey in front of us. I think we have fantastic opportunities to find new business models, to attract new talent, but we have to make sure that we do that in a sustainable manner. And just throwing prettied up expensive AR, VR demonstrators into the community is probably not what I would call sustainable development of new business models. So I think let's finish up 3.0, let's finish up 3.5, and then let's not lose sight on what 4.0 means for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's great advice. We've seen that there's so much excitement around new technologies and what's next when organizations can really get a lot of benefit out of their existing technologies. Things aren't being applied, whether it's data or new software, to the fullest extent that they could be.
Christine, I completely agree. You have a fantastic turnout in terms of senior leadership representing almost everybody in the utilities space, and to give these CEOs credit, they may or may not necessarily know the depth of implementation and penetration the digitization efforts have in all their entire organization, because some of them are fairly large. But what is clear is, from what we have been seeing, is that I would guess over half of the organization that are represented today are clearly not done with their 3.50 journey. So I clearly suggest to have a very critical perspective on where I want to go and how that fits to 4.0, and what I have left to complete 3.0. 3.0 is what I call 3.0 is a fundamental basis for 4.0. You cannot leverage the full power of 4.0 if you don't have the foundation that was put in place with the previous mega trends.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for sharing your insights today.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate that.